Hey everybody, how's it going? I am your host Adrian, coming to you almost live from lovely Petaluma, California, here in Studio MC2 at Quicksurf Internet Studios. The Geekinator is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Do feel free to head on over to techpodcast.com and check out all the other technology-related shows over there as well. I'd like to encourage everybody to visit us online over at quicksurf.com. Please do subscribe to the show if you have not already done so. And, shoot me an email, geekinator@quicksurf.com. You can find us over on Stitcher.com. We also syndicate to YouTube, blip.tv, Daily Motion, and we're always looking for, I thought about doing Vimeo, but they're kind of weird. But we're always looking for new places to distribute the show, as well as you can just get the show directly from us by visiting us online over at quicksurf.com and subscribing to the show directly via the feeds that we provide. You can get an Ogg Vorbis feed, an MP3 feed, and both a standard def and high definition video feed. So feel free to subscribe to the feed of your choice. Before we get into the awesome stuff that I found for this episode, a couple of things. Hopefully, you won't notice this in the coming weeks, but I recently took delivery of this Behringer Virtualizer 3D FX2000, and part of it's not hooked up yet. I'm still waiting for my channel insert cables and all the, everything cabling wise I need to hook it up. But part of the reason why I ordered it and I'm waiting to hook it up is to kind of streamline my production path a little bit. Right now, I haven't really done it behind the scenes, and one of these days I probably will, but the sound that you hear right now is not the sound that gets initially recorded. The sound that gets initially recorded is, totally uncompressed, no processing. It's just a raw capture, and I'm really looking to get the sound that you hear now live, and this has all of the effects that I do in post-production set up in a live fashion, and I can chain them together. So there's a denoiser, a noise gate, an expander. There's a whole slew of dynamics processing that I do behind this, in post-production after the show is recorded, that I'm looking really to do live while the show is being recorded, so I don't have to spend the time to do it after the fact. And this is really literally just to free up some of my time, as well as just get more consistent sound and be able to do live sound that sounds just like how you're hearing it or watching it right now. And then also, I'm evaluating some video capture hardware that will allow me to better do some, it'll give me higher quality and kind of speed up some of my production. Anyway, I thought I'd let you know, if you see stuff, keep an eye out for a behind the scenes video. I may actually shoot one of those, because a lot of people, I do actually get a fair amount of email from other podcasters or people looking to get into podcasting. They see my video or listen to my audio and they're like, wow, your video is actually fairly good quality, and your audio is pretty good quality. How do you do it? And so I'll do a little walkthrough. Surprisingly, I don't really have that complicated of a setup, but if you don't know the things that you have to get just right, it's hard to get good video and good audio. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the cool stuff for this episode. Over on Mashable, there's Mini-Supernovas have been discovered. This is kind of an interesting article. It was originally over on space.com. Mashable has a little write-up of it. Basically, astronomers have discovered a new kind of supernova, a star explosion so weak that scientists have dubbed it a miniature stellar blast. Supernovas represent the death of stars, which collapse in powerful explosions. They generally are classified in two main types. The new class, called Type Lax, is essentially a mini supernova, said lead researcher Ryan Foley. And it's the runt of the supernova litter. Supernovas are the most powerful stellar explosions known to science. They're visible all the way to the edge of the universe. You know, the real supernovas, the big ones, you know, they're pretty catastrophic. So pretty interesting. From The Verge, Google rescinds some "if I had glass" offers after it actually reads applicants' ideas. What? That's right. They started awarding glass to applicants, and then have kind of started to step back a little bit. They're backtracking. The Glass Explorer invitations that sent out over the past few days are some of them are being rescinded. Basically, back in February, Google gave people the opportunity to pay $1,500 for early access to the headset by explaining what they would do with it, either by posting to Google Plus or tweeting with the hashtag "if I had glass." But now that they've started to announce winners, they're taking a step back, saying that it needs honest feedback from people who are skeptical and critical of glass. A few of the applicants it received don't jibe with the program's terms and conditions. So, you know, it sounds like kind of a bundle to me, a bungle to me. I'm not a glass fan personally. You know, I don't really want glass or an iWatch or whatever, you know, watch thing that these companies seem to think that we all want. However, between the two of them, the more, and I've commented on this before, the more socially acceptable companion, in my opinion, is the watch. It's more socially acceptable to look at your wrist, you know, instead of pulling your phone out of your thing. It's, you know, people don't generally get upset if you take a quick glance at your wrist to check the time. You know, if you take a quick glance at your wrist and let's say it's your, you know, girlfriend or your wife or whatever that's texting you something urgent, you can then take the opportunity to discreetly excuse yourself from the conversation or whatever the case may be and go handle whatever the thing is. If you have glass, it just, you know, not only that, but there's tons of privacy implications. I don't see Google Glass being that successful in the long run. Either that or it's going to be the catalyst for a whole lot of stuff that I just don't, nope. Anyway, from Gizmodo, the best thing ever, classic Calvin and Hobbes scenes animated into GIFs. I love this. I'm a huge Calvin and Hobbes fan. I've got the complete Calvin and Hobbes collection, book 1, 2, and 3. And along with just about every Calvin and Hobbes, I basically have everything published Calvin and Hobbes. And I've been a huge Calvin and Hobbes fan for, you know, since I was a little kid. You know, I'm kind of old, but got to check it out. It's pretty cool. I thought it was neat. From Geeky Gadgets, watch 17 minutes of Battlefield 4 gameplay. Now, the only reason I'm not really all into the super first-person shooter Battlefield games or any of that other stuff, I'm more of a StarCraft geek, but you know, and a SimCity geek and that sort of thing. But the only reason why I'm including this is because of the graphics quality that they're looking to have for Battlefield 4. It looks pretty mind-blowing. You know, definitely a step up for video game graphics moving forward. So definitely check that out if you are a, you know, hardcore Battlefield 4 player or hardcore Battlefield player. Definitely check that out. From Like Cool, in their Gear home style car body Gear 100, there's a article here that's featuring a raised AT-AT from Star Wars. You know, the AT-ATs loft bed. I thought this was pretty neat. Definitely take a look at it. It's definitely one of a kind in terms of beds. You know, I've seen my fair share of AT-ATs turned into various things, so pretty interesting. From Uber Gizmo, Apple rumored to be building a 4K, that's right, 4K UHDTV, and UHD stands for ultra high definition. 4K is kind of the next standard coming out in terms of high def TVs. Obviously, there's no content, but the only way I can really see Apple getting into the TV market where they actually have TVs is if they do something like a really super high resolution display and kind of have like an Apple TV married to the back, or make it super easy so that you can go to the Apple store and buy like a little Apple TV cube, and there's a spot where you just cluck it right there in the back, and your Apple TV goes from, a standard TV that's got a tuner and all that other stuff to, maybe something that's, what they call a smart TV. A 4K TV is really the only way I can see Apple doing that successfully. But so, it remains to be seen. They're saying, according to the rumors, that it's late 2013 to early 2014 when we can expect to see this. If Apple really does release a 4K TV, they're known for having fairly good video quality for scaling old content up. There's a grip load of standard def content and semi high def content, as well as high def content, that you're going to need a really good video scaler to make it look even remotely good on a 4K TV. Quite frankly, I'd rather have a 4K display for a computer display. I mean, right now, the highest display they have is like 2.5K or something of that nature. So, a 4K for a computer display would be nice, but like I said, it remains to be seen whether or not they actually do something of that nature. From Engadget, Raspbmc's March update brings XBMC 12.1 and fixes to Raspberry Pi. This is pretty neat. Just because you have a Raspberry Pi and the know-how to change the world doesn't mean you want to do everything the hard way. Boy, ain't that the truth. So while you may have already applied the 12.1 update to XBMC running on your Raspberry Pi, if you've been waiting for a Raspbmc team to do it for you, well, wait no more. So just reboot your Pi and wait for about 15 minutes and it will do its thing. Got something in my eye here. I have to say, moving here to the Bay Area from Phoenix, Arizona, this last few months, last month and a half, my allergies have been absolutely insane. I never have allergies like that in Phoenix, but here, everything's in bloom, and I am just getting pounded. Anyway, next story we have here over at Uber Gizmo. Dreamfone runs the Firefox OS. This is pretty neat. Mozilla is well known for their Firefox browser, but what about their mobile operating system? Well, surely the Windows Phone is solidifying its position in the highly competitive mobile operating system market. And a new player like Mozilla might just find it rather challenging to change your perspective on things. So they have recently demonstrated their Firefox OS on an engineering sample of the Dreamfone, which is a low-end smartphone that can run Firefox OS. So there's some screenshots. There's a video that they have here from the Inquirer. It looks pretty interesting. Definitely give it a check. That'll do it for this episode of the Geekinator. As always, everything we've talked about is linked up in the show notes. You can find those online over at quicksurf.com. Please do shoot me an email, geekinator@quicksurf.com. Subscribe to the show if you haven't already done so. And with that, I will see all of you on the next episode. See you then. Bye.